Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. And today, it's an out of this world Thursday as we tackle a bunch of Silver Age and some Golden Age sci-fi comics. Let's go! All right, let's blast off, kids. It's time to get into some sci-fi comics. I love the sci-fi genre, especially when it comes to comics. Silver Age and Golden Age. Mwah. Some amazing stuff. The covers, the artwork, just absolutely drives me nuts. And so with that, I was super happy today to hit a section of my boxes of over 1,200 graded comics as we do this 12 books at a time to get to a section here that was all sci-fi books. So let's just dig in and blast off, baby. And we'll do so right here with this book right out of the gate. Banger alert. Mystery in Space, issue 53. This is the first appearance of Adam Strange in Mystery in Space. He actually will take over this title and will run this title up to about 100 or so before he'll duck out from the book. But from this issue on, Mystery in Space is all Adam Strange. Adam Strange and Alara here, who's been captured by this menacing robot raider, apparently. The robots are revolting against human control and gotta ray blast them before they run riot over the world. And that's exactly what you do. When something starts to go roughshod, you blast them in the face with a ray gun. Just saying. Sci-fi! All right. Next up on that. Oh, that I should say... So this is my second copy of this book. I had originally like a 3.0 graded copy, and I have upgraded to this 4.5. I do plan to eventually upgrade to probably around a 6 or maybe a 7. And then I'll be super happy with that. But for right now, I'm cool with the 4.5. This was a step up for me as I'm working on the complete run of Mystery in Space and primarily looking at collecting those in higher mid-grade books. So yeah. Next up, another one. This is Mystery in Space issue 58. This is in the old CGC, or one of the older CGC slabs. And this is, of course, Adam Strange battles the chariot in the sky. Chariot in the sky. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, no. I guess that's something else. Anyways, so yeah, Mystery in Space from 1960. Some more Silver Age goodies there. And oh god, I love these labels. Mystery in Space 68. So here we have this is the very first CGC non-Marvel label. So there was one of two different labels. This one here, this girl, bubble helmet girl with a tentacle monster, was one of the two first non-Marvel labels, and I was very happy to add that to some of these sci-fi books. I love the alien world in the background of the blue label. Really nice. Here we've got Adam is disappearing, being drawn back to Earth, leaving me here trapped in the Tigra Bar pit. Adam Strange, the fade away to doom. Let's see, it was a guard or fog. Yeah, nothing, no special key to this. So now here's the deal. If you don't know Adam Strange is an Earthman. He's been taken to the planet Ron, where he fights along with them, and with the aid of his jetpack and his ray gun, he's really good at fighting. No explanation as to why. He just is. And anyways, he'll fight on the side of Ron to help protect them from alien invaders and whatnot, but he periodically gets sucked back to Earth, and not always at the most opportune times. I'm stepping out for some cigarettes. I'll be back. Oh wait, that was Dad. Okay, next up here, Mystery in Space issue 70. Boom, another one of those labels, 10-cent goodness, 1961. We got Adam Strange fights the fantastic foe on the battlefield that extends across 2 planets in vengeance of the Dust Devil. Yeah. And of course, you can get yourself 1,000 or 204 Revolutionary War soldiers for $1.98. That's less than a penny a piece. How could you go wrong? Oh, here's a nice little key here. We got Mystery in Space issue 90. Only a moment left to avert collision between Earth and my adopted planet Ron. Suddenly they're right next to each other. Normally they're like across galaxies and stuff from each other. The planet's in peril. Here we've got Hawkman featured on the cover as well, because this is the first time Adam Strange was the first Adam Strange and Hawkman team up. And Hawkgirl also makes an appearance in here. So there's a period of time from here on where Adam Strange and Hawkman are both in Mystery in Space together. I do like that here we got Adam Strange in an actual proper-ish spacesuit. I mean, it's completely sealed. It's not like gloveless and stuff, which is, you'll see a lot. If he was a woman, absolutely she'd have like skin exposed in space and stuff and whatever. Now, I'm not saying that this is a proper spacesuit. Obviously, I don't know how good it is about the vacuum of space and cosmic particles and heating him up. But hey, it's better than, like I said, a lot of the sci-fi spacesuits of the time before science actually interjected itself with our fantasy. Here we go. Mystery in Space issue number 82. We have a nuclear explosion cover. World War and Earth and Ron. My native planet Earth and my adopted planet Ron at each deadly peril. There's only time to save one. Which shall it be? Of course, the infamous dilemma. Two things are about the guy. I can only save one. Which one will it be? He'll figure out a way to do both. That's just the way heroes are. This is also labeled as the first appearance of Monlo Talifa. Don't know who he is. I thought in my head. Can't remember. But there you go. All right. We're going to take one brief pause before we get back into some sci-fi action here. We've got a Golden Age book in here. This is a fun one. When I started first collecting some Golden Age books, one of the things I wanted to do was get at least one book featuring different characters that I thought of and associated with the Golden Age. And this is one of those characters. This is Plastic Man, issue 48. It's a 3.0, but this is an awesome cover. You can see it's all together there. It's rough around the edges, but hey, the interior is what matters. The art is great. And that's the fun thing about getting, with low-grade books, not every book is the same. If you can find one where that middle of that book, that art, still presents phenomenally well, and your issues are going to be like here off to the side in the kelp, who the heck cares? This is awesome. We've got him with killer crossbones, and he got him fighting underwater, holding off a shark, and of course, the Hookman. Yeah, killer crossbones. Great Plastic Man cover. Every time I pull this one out for a cover challenge or something, people get excited over this. This is a Dick Wood story, cover by Dick Dillon. So this was a Dick book. Dick Dillon and Dick Wood. Insert joke here. All right, next up, if you are in the market, maybe you're not a Golden Age collector, but you thought to yourself, I'd like to have at least one Golden Age book in my collection. Then what the next book I'm about to show you is a book that you might consider. Not because it's got all kinds of value, not because it's all kinds of crazy stuff, but because there are a ton of these available, and it's a book that's available cheap in mid-high grade copies. I was super happy. I got 3 copies, and all 3 of my copies ended up getting 8.5s. I've since AOK'd 2 of them out to other people and kept 1 for myself. And this is Major Inapak the Space Ace. Now, what makes this book available and cheap? Well, this was a promotional book for Inapak drink mix. It was a powdered drink mix. This was a promotional book that was put out by them to be distributed. And cases of this. I don't know if it ever actually got distributed in stores or what the final story was, but eventually cases and cases and cases of this book were found and have been released out to the market. So these are out there. They typically run anywhere from $9 to $20. I've got all three of my copies for $9 a piece. Inapak chocolate flavored drink mix giveaway is what it says. The biggest issue with this is from 1951, so it qualifies as a golden age book. The issues that mine has is there's color rub, and that color rub exists simply because they were stacked in a box on top of one another. That was going to happen. So there you go. 1951 Major Inapak the Space Ace. Promotional comic, super easy for somebody to grab if you wanted to add a cool sci-fi cover for your collection on the cheap. Like I said, it's never going to be valuable, I can't imagine, but for fun. I mean, you probably won't ever even grade it too. I mean, getting it graded is more than the cost of the book. Let's be honest. I did it just because I thought it would look cool. Space Adventures issue 27. Space Adventures. This is Charlton Comics from what, 1959? Yeah, 1959. This is Steve Ditko art. So Steve Ditko worked with Charlton Comics for a bit on some of these Space Adventures books. I love picking them up. There's 3 different volumes of Space Adventures. Whenever I see them, I do like to pick up these books and add to my collection. There are a couple key first appearances in there, including First Captain Atom, which can be a pricey book, but hey. So a fast moving episode of Space Adventures. Cool beanies. I love that. Oh, they cut his tether. This one, oh, Space Adventures number 4. This is an incredible flying saucer cover. Flying saucer covers are a thing amongst sci-fi collectors. And so there's a couple things I was complaining about on this book. First, and when I first pulled it up, first and foremost is look how off-center the book is. You can see the inner well's holding it all the way here, but here we're up against the edge. There's no left or right. Now, as far as the issues with the book, you can see up here we've got some serious foxing issues here. We've got a bunch of major foxing on the back. This book, I think, is actively still growing. And this is a book that at some point I'm going to have to make a decision. And if I'm going to preserve it, I'm going to have to send it to my man, the Rogue Trader, and see if what he can do to arrest all the mold spores and maybe lighten it a little bit. But he's not going to be able to do much on that. It's basically stop it from degrading the book anymore, because it's kind of about preserving the book. And this is just one of those things, man. Sometimes this happens. That's unfortunate. Anyways, the Rogue Trader, he's linked down below. You can use code FATSTAX if you're submitting books to the roguetraderutah.com. You can, with that, get up to 20% off your pressing and cleaning, including 20% off his already discounted bundles. If you go to his website, he's got like bundles of like 13 books where you can save a discount when you prepay for 13 books for cleaning press. Well, you still get 20% off on top of that. And when you do use the code FATSTAX, he's going to give $10 to the Comics Curing Cancer. Space Adventures. Yes. This one is Dick Gargano cover and art, and Art Capello art. Oh, so let's read this. I always love reading these covers. We're now forced to use this secret hydrogen bomb, Rex. It might mean goodbye, world. We're forced to use a weapon that could possibly end the world. Why would you use it? I'm just asking. 2 books remaining. Do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Give us a subscribe if you're not. Leave a comment down below after this. Let me know what you thought of sci-fi, these sci-fi books. Are you a fan of sci-fi, Golden Age and Silver Age? I love it. Now, let's get into 2 last books. These are Golden Age books. Now, they're going to list on the label as having no date. I've done research on them to find what the dates are on these. These are what are known as Australian reprints. Okay. This is Buck Rogers, issue number 108. This was published in Australia by the Fishett brothers. This is like actually 1950. And what these are reprints from the U.S. dailies. Now, that's very common. Matter of fact, a lot of the Buck Rogers comic books up to this point, even in the U.S., were just taking the dailies, the Buck Rogers strips that ran in the newspaper, collecting them and compiling them together into issues like this. So this is no different than what we were getting in the US at the time, but we get this larger magazine size format. The whole book is done on a newsprint style paper that includes the cover. So getting these covers in great condition, they can be tattered and worn and stuff because they're basically just a slightly heavy new stock. This one has some slight color touch to it. I did not realize it at the time. I got this one early in my collecting and sent it off for grading before I knew what to even look for. But man, I dug that little rocket ship in the background. Awesome. But when it comes to Golden Age sci-fi, one of the gems of my collection is this next book. Not only is it a great cover, but the grade will knock your socks off. This is from 1951. This is Buck Rogers, issue 134 in a 9.6. This is the problem right there, that corner. They're pretty generous in what they'll allow because it's a Golden Age book. But here we go, the Australian reprint, Buck Rogers number 1, or not reprint. It's not really a reprint because they're just reprinting the dailies. But it's not a reprint of another book. It's the content inside is reprinted, but that's what all the books were. So I don't know. But they refer to it as Australian reprints typically. There's a whole website dedicated to these Australian reprints throughout time that you can then look up and see. And that's how I ascertained when these were from. Buck Rogers, Tip Top Comics, number 134 in a 9.6 graded book. The insides, they're just like this. They're black and white. There's no color. The only color is right here on the front cover. Buck Rogers. Hell yeah. Let's go. That's it. That's enough. Return to Earth. Safe landing. And let's refuel for next week when we take another 12 books up into the stratosphere and see what's on Only My Slabs. Until next time, you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.